Hi everyone, welcome back to this course on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin wallets can be categorized as follows according to the platform desktop wallet. A desktop wallet was the first type of Bitcoin wallet created as a reference implementation, and many users run desktop wallets for the features, autonomy and control they offer. Running on general use operating systems such as Windows and Mac OS has certain security disadvantages. However, as these platforms are often insecure and poorly configured. Mobile wallet. A mobile wallet is the most common type of Bitcoin wallet, running on smartphone operating systems such as Apple iOS and Android. These wallets are often a great choice for new users. Many are designed for simplicity and ease of use, but there are also fully featured mobile wallets for power users. Web wallets. Web wallets are accessed through a web browser and store a user's wallet on a server owned by a third party. This is similar to webmail in that it relies entirely on a third party server. Some of these services operate using client-side running in the user's browser, which keeps control of the Bitcoin keys in the hands of the user. Most, however, present a compromise by taking control of the Bitcoin keys from users in exchange for ease of use. It is inadvisable to store large amounts of Bitcoin on third-party systems. Hardware wallet. Hardware wallets are devices that operate in a secure, self-contained Bitcoin wallet or special purpose hardware. This is operated via a USB with a desktop web browser or via near-field communication (NCF) on a mobile device. By handling all Bitcoin related operations on the specialized hardware, these wallets are considered very secure and suitable for storing large amounts of Bitcoin. Paper wallet. The keys controlling Bitcoin can also be printed for long-term storage. These are known as paper wallets, even though other materials, wood, metal, can be used. Paper wallets offer a low-tech but highly secure means of storing Bitcoin long-term. Offline storage is also referenced to as cold storage. Another way to categorize Bitcoin wallets is by their degree of autonomy and how they interact with the Bitcoin network. A full client or full node is a client that stores the entire history of Bitcoin transactions. Every transaction by every user ever, manages users' wallets and can initiate transactions directly on the Bitcoin network. A full node handles all aspects of the protocol and can independently validate the entire blockchain and any transaction. A full node client consumes substantial computer resources, e.g. more than 125 gigabit disk and 2 gig of RAM, but offers complete autonomy and independent transaction verification. Lightweight client, also known as simple payment verification (SPV) client, connects to Bitcoin full nodes mentioned previously for access to the Bitcoin transaction information, but stores the user wallet locally and independently creates, validates and transmits transactions. Lightweight clients interact directly with the Bitcoin network without an intermediary. Third-party API. A third-party API is one that interacts with Bitcoin through a third-party system of application programming interfaces (APIs) rather than by connecting to the Bitcoin network directly. The wallet may be stored by the user or by third-party servers, but all transactions go through a third party. Combining these categorization, many Bitcoin wallets fall into a few groups, with the three most common being desktop full client, mobile lightweight wallet, and web third-party wallet. The lines between different categories are often blurry, as many wallets run on multiple platforms and can interact with the network in many different ways. Getting your first Bitcoin. The first and often most difficult task for new users is to acquire some Bitcoin. Unlike other foreign currencies, you can not yet buy Bitcoin at a bank or foreign exchange kiosk. Bitcoin transactions are irreversible. Most electronic payments such as credit cards, debit cards, PayPal and bank accounts transfers are reversible. For someone selling Bitcoin, this difference introduces a very high risk that the buyer will reverse the electronic payment after they have received Bitcoin, in effect defrauding the seller. To mitigate this risk, companies accepting traditional electronic payments in return for Bitcoin usually require buyers to undergo identity verification and credit worthiness checks, which may take several days or weeks. As a new user, this means you cannot buy Bitcoin instantly with a credit card. With a bit of patience and creative thinking, however, you won't need to. Here are some methods for getting Bitcoin as a new user. Find a friend who has Bitcoin and buy some from him or her directly. Many Bitcoin users start this way. This is a method is the least complicated. One way to meet people with Bitcoin is to attend a local Bitcoin meetup listed at meetup.com. Use a classified service such as localbitcoins.com to find a seller in your areas to buy Bitcoin for cash in an in-person transaction. Earn Bitcoin by selling products or service for Bitcoin. If you are a programmer, sell your programming skills. If you're a hairdresser, cut hair for Bitcoin. Use a Bitcoin ATM in your city. A Bitcoin ATM is a machine that accepts cash and sends Bitcoin to your smartphone Bitcoin wallet. Finding a Bitcoin ATM close to you using an online map from Coin ATM Radar. Use a Bitcoin currency exchange linked to your bank account. Many countries now have currency exchanges that offer a market for buyers and sellers to swap Bitcoin with local currency. Exchange rate listing services such as Bitcoin Average often show a list of Bitcoin exchange currency. Finding the current price of Bitcoin. Before you can buy Bitcoin from Joe, you have to agree on the exchange rate between Bitcoin and US dollars. This brings up a common question for those new to Bitcoin. Who sets the Bitcoin price? The short answer is that the price is set by markets. Bitcoin, like most other currencies, has a floating exchange rate. That means that the value of Bitcoin, like any other currency, fluctuates according to supply and demand in the various markets where it is traded. For example, the price of Bitcoin in US dollars is calculated in each market based on the most recent trade of Bitcoin and US dollars. As such, the price tends to fluctuate minutely several times per second. A price service will aggregate the prices from several markets and calculate a volume weighted average representing a broad market exchange rate of a currency pair, e.g. BTC USD, which is Bitcoin US dollar. There are hundreds of applications and websites that can provide the current market rate. Here are the most popular. Bitcoin Average, a site that provides a simple view of the volume weighted for each currency. CoinCap, a service listing the market capitalization and exchange rates of hundreds of cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin. Chicago Mercantile Exchange Bitcoin reference rate, a reference rate that can be used for institutional and contractual reference, provided as a part of investment data feeds by the CME. In addition to these various sites and applications, most Bitcoin wallets will automatically convert amounts between Bitcoin and other currencies, sending and receiving Bitcoin. Alice has decided to exchange $10 for Bitcoin so as not to risk too much money on this new technology. She gives Joe $10 in cash, opens her Mycelium wallet application and selects receive. This displays a QR code with Alice's first Bitcoin address. Joe then selects send on his smartphone wallet and is presented with a screen containing two inputs: a destination Bitcoin address, the amount to send in Bitcoin BTC, or his local currency USD. In the input field for the Bitcoin address, there is a small icon that looks like a QR code. This allows Joe to scan the barcode with his smartphone camera so that he doesn't have to type in Alice's Bitcoin address, which is quite long and difficult to type. Joe taps the QR code icon and activates the smartphone camera, scanning the QR code displayed on Alice's smartphone. Joe now has Alice's Bitcoin address set as the recipient. Joe enters the amount as $10 and his wallet converts it by accessing the most recent exchange rate from an online service. The exchange rate at the time is $100 per Bitcoin, so $10 is worth 0.10 Bitcoin BTC, or 100 milli Bitcoin MBTC, as shown in the screenshot from Joe's wallet. See figure 1.2. Joe then carefully checks to make sure that he has entered the correct amount, because he is about to transmit money and mistakes are irreversible. After double checking the address and the amount, he presses send to transmit the transaction. Joe's mobile Bitcoin wallet constructs a transaction that assigns 0.10 BTC to the address provided by Alice, sourcing the funds from Joe's wallet and signing the transaction with Joe's private keys. This tells the Bitcoin network that Joe has authorized a transfer of value to Alice's new address. As the transaction is transmitted via the peer-to-peer protocol, it quickly propagates across the Bitcoin network. In less than a second, most of the well-connected nodes in the network receive the transaction and see Alice's address for the first time. Meanwhile, Alice's wallet is constantly listening to the published transaction on the Bitcoin network, looking for any that match the address in her wallets. A few seconds after Joe's wallet transmits the transaction, Alice's wallet will indicate that it is receiving 0.10 BTC. Alice is now the proud owner of 0.10 BTC that she can spend. In the next chapter, we'll look at her first purchase with Bitcoin and examine the underlying transaction and propagation technologies in more detail. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider sharing and subscribing, and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.